Hey guys, it's Deborah back again, and I promised you that I would share with you what I did with my Stamperia papers the other day, and this is the result. So what I've done is, this is an old wooden photo frame, and I've just started, because it had a piece in the centre where the photo goes, I added some mounting tape on there to start with, so I have a fairly flat surface to work on. And then I just started layering all different pieces of the paper. So I've cut out tags, fussy cut lots of different things from the different papers. You know, with these balloons, I've cut a couple of them so that it's got like a bit of a paper towel effect. And then I've added in some metallic cogs that I had, as well as some of the paper cogs, and also one of the metallic clocks that I had, clock faces. And then I have also just put some wire. I had this brown wire. I've had it for ages. I bought it for some reason, and I've just put some of that and wrapped around it as well. So this piece is just for my craft room. I'm going to keep it. I think it's really lovely, and I love this kind of steampunk look. But the question is, what am I going to do with the rest of the papers that I have? So that's what I'm going to work on today. I still have a lot left because I bought the whole 22 pack, and I'm probably not going to use all of it in this session, but certainly at some point I will. And I really love all of the tags and things that are in here. So what I might do is just do some little mini things with these tags rather than a whole piece like I did with that. Piece I just showed you. I'm just going to do some mini things and see what I can come up with. So let's go. So to start with, I'm just going to cut some pieces out. So I've cut this frame from this page of 6 frames, and I'm just going to cut some other bits out to work on top of that. And I'm going to do a bit of that sort of collage, you know, 3D paper towel effect as well. I've already got the other face of the man cut out, so I'll probably end up using that one. And I'm definitely going to use some of these clocks to tuck in with it, and I'm sure I'll find some other things in here as I go along. Now always make sure when you're fussy cutting that you're inking the edges, because what will happen is it'll get rid of that white edge that's around things, because when you cut the paper, the core of the paper isn't colour, so the image doesn't go all the way through. I think it's a really important step if you want your stuff to look really nice. And if you want to get into these little corners in here, let's move that so you can see it a bit better. If you want to get into these sorts of bits here, and obviously the ink pad won't fit, just bend your paper a tiny little bit so you can get in. If you just give it a bit of a bend, you're not really bending a crease in it, you just sort of, you know, think about sort of bending it around your finger or something. And you'll get in there then, and you'll get this nice colour in there as well. The other thing I want to show you today is how I cut it around something when it's circular. I don't know how you do it, I'd be interested to know, but I tend to put my scissors on the edge of the circle, and then I turn as I'm just slightly compressing my scissors so that I'm trying to keep that round shape around the edge of the object that I'm cutting out. And I just keep turning slightly and very, very slowly until I get to a point where I need to reposition the scissors, and just cut bits off as you go. You'll find it's easier. You won't have all that bulk to deal with. At least that's how I do it. I don't know how other people do it. Obviously, I wish I had a punch as large as this. I don't. So I've just cut some things out, and now I'm just going to play around and see, you know, what the best composition is. I may or may not use them all, I'm just really not sure yet. With this piece here, I'm actually going to raise it up so I can tuck some things underneath it. Just roughly measuring how big it is. Inner workings of a clock here, so I just might tuck that up there, but because I've got the mounting tape it's not going to fit. I'm just going to snip some off the top so that it will fit under there like that. Yep, that'll be fine. The first thing I'm going to do is colour these gears. So I've got these cogs and gears from Finnabear, sorry. And I'm just going to paint them. I've got some paint in burnt umber, which is really good colour, I think, for these. And I'm going to put something over the top of them. Hopefully, if I can find my paste, gold paste, I'll put it on top. Let's just start by painting them in the brown. I've got this, which is basically it's a metallic wax in white gold, and it's by Prima. Oh yes, Prima. I've not used it. I've only recently purchased it actually. Well, you know, a couple of months ago. And I hoped to make them look a bit more metal by adding some of the wax on top. I'm going to use a cotton bud just because I don't want to contaminate the pot, and put some on here and see what I can do with it. Okay, now that's come out in a big blob. See if I can wax this up to look a bit metallic-y. This is lovely, it's really thick. I had some of this many moons ago, and I've been thinking about getting some, so I've probably had this for about 3 months now and have never used it. So I've never had anything to use it on. But I think this is going to be really nice. There you go. That's really quite good compared to the brown, isn't it? My next step is going to be to cut out this little balloon here. So I do want to have him on there. I'm using these old Versamark ink pads simply because I'm trying to use things that I own rather than, I do own some other brown ink pads as well, but I want to use these old ones just for edging. Well, they've still got some life left in them. And I'm going to put the balloon there. I'm going to grab another one of these balloons from here and put that on as well. Just going to put it there so that it pops a little bit. Isn't that cute? That's so adorable. And I need my metallic accents now, and I did before. And I'm just going to put some dimension on these. So I'm going to start with the balloon. Remember not to get any bubbles into it, and don't touch it once it's done. You just have to let it sit and dry. If it's got a bubble in it, you can use your pokey tool to poke the bubble, but otherwise, no, do not touch. I'm going to put one in the centre of that, which has now got a bubble, which we don't want. Burst the bubble. There you go. And I'm having a bubble day. There you go. But if you do any more than that, you'll find that you'll have a mess. I'm going to get a bubble here too, I can tell already on that first one. There's that bubble. I'm just looking to get a bit of texture out of the piece, really. So now you need to let that dry completely so that the glossy accents, or the dimensional magic, same thing, goes clear. and that would be really good. You could use that on a junk journal page. You could use it for the front of a card. You could use it as the base for an art journal piece. There's lots of different things that you could use things like this for. And if you've got papers left over and you don't want them for anything else, it's a good way to use up your bits and pieces. I'm just going to let this dry and then I'll be good to go. This is Deborah. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Cheers.